You're at the airport. Your boarding pass says Gate C14. You walk over, find a chair, and sit down. You're early. You feel responsible. You've got your charger plugged in, a snack in hand, and a perfect view of the boarding door. Welcome to Jet Savvy, where we help you master the art of effortless travel. Now here's a question. What if I told you that this picture-perfect moment might actually be the first mistake of your entire trip? I've seen it happen too many times to count. Someone gets comfortable by the gate, thinks they're in control, and 45 minutes later they're running through the terminal in a panic. Or worse, they miss the flight completely. Today we're breaking down 13 real reasons why sitting at the gate too early can turn a peaceful journey into a frustrating mess. These are lessons from thousands of flights, stories from fellow travelers, and my own close calls along the way. Let's dive in. 1. Gate areas get overcrowded fast. Let me paint a picture. You show up an hour early. The gate area is nearly empty. You think you scored. But 30 minutes later, you're surrounded by people who had the exact same idea. I was in Atlanta last spring, sat at the gate with a good book and some trail mix. By the time I looked up, there were so many people packed in around me that someone actually stepped on my backpack trying to squeeze into a seat. There was nowhere to stretch my legs, nowhere quiet to think, and forget about getting up. I would have lost my seat in seconds. 2. It's easy to miss announcements right next to the gate. Sounds backwards, right? But I've seen this happen again and again. At LAX, I once sat right in front of the counter at Gate 74, and I still missed my boarding group. Why? Because the speaker announcements were barely audible, and everyone around me was either on their phone or talking loudly. I had headphones out, volume low. Still didn't catch the boarding call. By the time I noticed, they were already on Group 6. I was Group 3. Being close doesn't mean being informed. It just means being close to the noise. 3. Pickpockets love gate areas. Let me tell you about Barcelona. I was flying to Rome, seated comfortably at the gate, next to a young couple on their honeymoon. They had their backpacks tucked under their seats, and they were sharing photos from the trip on one phone. What they didn't notice was a man who sat behind them for 5 minutes, then casually walked off. By the time boarding began, her small purse with passports, cash, and cards was gone, stolen in plain sight. Airports may feel secure, but theft still happens, and crowded gate areas are prime hunting grounds. 4. Gate seats are uncomfortable, unless you're flying out of Changi or some brand new terminal in Doha. Chances are your gate seat is a metal bench with just enough cushioning to call it furniture. One winter, I had a layover in Chicago. Flight was delayed 3 hours. Those hard seats turned my back into a question mark. I was stretching against a trash can just to feel normal again. If you're going to be waiting a while, find somewhere designed for humans, not robots. 5. You miss out on lounge perks. Let's talk about what you're giving up when you rush to the gate. In Dallas, I once skipped the Centurion Lounge because I thought boarding was close. Turned out we didn't even start until 30 minutes later. Meanwhile, I sat at the gate eating pretzels and listening to a toddler scream into a toy megaphone. Meanwhile, just 2 escalators away, there were hot meals, free drinks, recliners, and silence. If you have lounge access, use it. If you don't, many airports now offer pay-to-enter options, even for under $30. 6. Sitting at the gate actually causes boarding delays. It sounds ridiculous, but when 100 people are crowding around the boarding door, it clogs up the space for the people who actually need to board first. I watched this in real time in Miami. Gate agent asked people to sit down. No one moved. So they called first class, and those passengers had to weave their way through a wall of people. It added 10 minutes to boarding and nearly led to a shouting match when a guy in Group 7 tried to squeeze in early. If you stay out of the way until it's your turn, you're doing everyone a favor, including yourself. 7. Gate changes can leave you sprinting across the airport. One of the worst travel days I've had was in Paris. I was sitting calmly at gate 37. Felt good. Was texting my brother about our trip. Then I looked up and noticed the gate screen was blank. No announcement. No flashing alert. No warning. Turns out, the flight moved to gate 55, a full terminal away. I had 10 minutes to make it. I made it, but I had to run like I was being chased. Had I been in a lounge or seated near a screen instead of staring at the gate, I would have seen the update earlier and avoided the whole sprint. 8. You forget to take care of the basics. When you camp at the gate, you convince yourself it's too risky to get up. So you wait. You delay going to the bathroom. You skip food. You don't refill your water bottle. Then, right before boarding, you realize you're starving. Your phone's at 12%, and you desperately need a restroom. Now you're trying to do all three in a panic, with a carry-on in one hand and your passport in the other. I've learned this the hard way. Handle all the basics early, then relax somewhere close, but not too close. 9. Lighting and temperature can ruin your wait. Ever been under airport lights that feel like dentist office fluorescents? Or freezing air vents blowing directly on your neck? Yeah, that's the gate zone. I remember a long delay in Toronto. Sat under a spotlight so bright I could see my pulse in my shadow. And the air conditioning had me wrapped in a scarf like it was December in Norway. Not ideal for relaxing. Not ideal for your health. Find a better lit corner. A cafe. A quiet corridor with normal airflow. Your eyes and your sinuses will thank you. 10. You're too far from real food and drink options. Gate snacks are limited and overpriced. A $7 bag of trail mix isn't what your body needs before a cross-country flight. But the good stuff, the decent food, it's never at the gate. It's always a walk away. And if you sit too early, you won't want to get up and risk losing your spot. Better to fuel up first. Eat something solid. Hydrate. Then stroll over to the gate when it's time. 11. You skip duty-free and useful shops. Sometimes the best last-minute finds are sitting in the shops you walked right past. Whether it's a gift, a phone charger, or even a better neck pillow. I skipped buying headphones once in Lisbon because I was too focused on getting a good gate seat. My old ones broke mid-flight and I sat in silence for 7 hours. A quick browse could have saved my eardrums and my sanity. 12. Gate areas are peak stress zones. You're not just sitting. You're absorbing energy from the room. People arguing with gate agents. Flights getting canceled. Kids running around. People panicking about overhead space. It's not a healthy environment. And it wears on you. Find a bubble away from the madness. It can be a small one. But the peace you gain is worth every extra step. 13. The best strategy is also the simplest. Here's what I do now. I find a quiet, comfortable spot with a clear view of the nearest flight info screen. I eat, charge up, handle errands, and relax. 10 minutes before boarding, I check the gate, stretch, and head over, calm, prepared, and not fighting a crowd. That's it. Simple, smart, effective. And now, it's your turn. Try it once. Skip the gate seating. Choose comfort. Move smarter. You'll never go back. If this helped you, subscribe to Jet Savvy for more no-nonsense travel tips. We break down what really works on the road and in the air. Because smart travelers don't just go places, they glide. Thanks for watching, and safe travels.